Say frustrated with an R. Can you do it?
Frustrated.
Frustrated. I got to go British for this.
Say it normal.
Frustrated.
No.
I'm so confused.
'Cause I love it, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I love it, yeah, yeah.
That's like me with calculator. I can't.
Calculator.
I've been able to say
Calculator.
calculator for so long, but for some reason, I just started taking the shortcut of calculator, and now I can't go back. So I'm like calculator.
Calculator.
It's just so hard to say calculator.
Cucumber.
Say quiet.
Quiet.
What?
Sometimes Lily will go quiet.
It's the Valley Girl in me. She's itching to come out.
Valley girl.
What was I gonna
The Valley Girl, you know, like the stupid California girl
important.
that talks
California.
like this.
Oh yeah.
The Valley Girl.
Coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah, coffee.
the Valley Girl.
I feel like a old person because I have old people jobs. Not old people jobs, but like mature, like 24, 25-year-old jobs. Speaking of which, you want to know what my job is? I'm a second grade teacher. Wait.
Welcome back to the Ladies of Lemonade podcast. It's so great to have you guys here today.
We have a really exciting podcast that you want to listen to, so don't turn off the camera.
Not the camera.
The
Camera.
You're
video.
not watching on a camera.
The video.
Video. That's
Video.
Latin.
It is
before
Latin.
C.
I had to learn Latin for like 8 years.
Me too,
there
girl.
At TNT.
So I know you have to do Latin, and in most Christian education schools you have to do Latin, and in the school that I went to was 2 years. Anyways, all right. So we're talking about education, what it is today, what is going on in the education system, and what we have done and where we want to go with it with our future kids, and everything in between.
Yeah. I think this is great because all of us come from very diverse backgrounds.
Yes. And speaking of those diverse backgrounds, very quick, what was your growing up,
School-wise.
school-wise?
All right. Well, from kindergarten to 10th grade, I went to the New Testament Christian School, which is a tiny private Christian school. And then it shut down for COVID. And then they were like, we can't hold the high school anymore. So then I went to a public school nearby for the last 2 years of high school. And then I went off to college.
I was in and out and in and out and in and out of public school. I was in for kindergarten, out for second, third, in for fourth, out for fifth, in for sixth,
Wow.
in for seventh, out for eighth, out for ninth, out for 10th, and in for 12th. I was in
skipped 11th.
I was out for 11th. But in the time that I wasn't in public school, I did online school and I did homeschool. So, and I finished my last year of high school in a public school, a different one than I went to. I've been in like 4 different schools.
All right, Bella, what about you?
I was homeschooled my whole life. The last 7 years of my schooling, I was in classical conversations, which is like a co-op thing, but always homeschooled.
Cool. I started in private Christian school, then I went to public school for 3 years, 2 different public schools, and then I went back to the Christian school till 10th grade, and then after that I dropped that, and I did homeschool, the co-op thing, classical conversations with this lovely lady over here until I graduated. So I did it all.
Which public schools did you go to?
Public schools, I went to Centerville Elementary and then BWB.
What did you go
Say
to?
that slower.
I went to Sandwich High School.
BWB stands for Barnstable, West Barnstable.
Oh.
So I went to the Barnstable schools.
Hmm.
You went to where?
Sandwich High School.
Oh,
I went
I
to
heard good things.
Yeah, I liked Sandwich High School. I also was in a high school in Worcester, but it was like right when COVID started. So I was in public school, but we were doing it all online at home. So I never actually went into the building ever.
Did not
But-
stand online school. when
Yeah.
I did it.
That was terrible.
The worst.
But then I actually did like an online school, Connections Academy. The worst thing oh my gosh, I have nothing but horrible things to say. No, we'll get into that later.
Okay,
All right.
into that later. All right, so next aspect of it, as you my people can see, we've done, except for boarding school, we've done all the schooling types, which is homeschool, online school, public school, and private Christian school. We didn't do any private schools that weren't Christian, but private school.
And we also incorporated homeschool, but homeschool that's also with a co-op. That's like a
so
community.
homeschool co-op thing. So we're gonna do not pros and cons, but what we like about these things and what we don't like about these things, because each thing has its great benefits. Like, wow, this is awesome, and then they have their but we miss out on this.
Yeah.
So starting off with public school, what do we think are some good reasons for public school?
I actually have a really good reason, and I've debated about this in my head for a long time, which is I think me going to public school for the last 2 years of high school was actually so beneficial for my beliefs and my relationship with Jesus, because before public school, I hadn't really experienced opposition to what I believed and my politics and religion and stuff like that. And then when I went to public school, it was almost like I solidified everything that I believed, because I saw the differences and I was like, wow, I just want to be where I am right now. And so I think having that challenge is what made me so passionate about what I believed in. Would I ever put my kids in public school? No. So it's just really odd for me because I see really good things about it.
I know what you're saying, because when I went to public school for my last year of high school, I was old enough to understand what was really bad, and I was also old enough to not be heavily influenced by anything that I saw. And so at my public school, they would hang the gay pride flags and stuff, and it's I was old enough that I was not listening to what they were feeding me. I was like, yeah, I know right from wrong. And I think that was really beneficial as well, to see it, but not to be consumed by it.
That's like living in the world, but not of the world.
Yeah.
What do you think is a good thing about public school?
Public school, though I never experienced it.
Well, just when you think public school, what is some good thing that you could think about it for?
See, if I were to say a good thing, it would be similar, along the lines of what they were saying, but strictly in the later years of high school, because even the first 2 years or first year, and also it's really child dependent, I feel like too, but I just don't think it would ever be okay to put my child, when younger than that, into it and saying, oh, there'll be a light to the non-Christians because they believe in Jesus and they've been raised in a Christian home. I'm not going to put them in that where they're going to get so influenced and so indoctrinated because they're still young, their brains are still developing and haven't necessarily decided, made their faith their own, or they haven't necessarily decided this is exactly what I believe and I know why I believe it. And so later years in high school, yes, like Jess was saying, it's good to it puts your faith to the test and she got grounded, but that's not always the case.
Yeah.
And so it's really probably situational, but also when they're young, it's the kind of thing where you don't put a child at the front lines of a war. You don't put a child who is not prepared, who doesn't have, who's not fully spiritually aware and prepared and grounded in the culture war, because that's what you really experience in a public school, because you have so many different kids and backgrounds and things going on and a lot of sinful behavior and things that that they are experiencing and seeing and probably getting forced on them in some ways too. So that was a long-winded answer. I just mostly talked about what I didn't like. Sorry. There's not much that I love, but then again, I never experienced it. So
There's also just a lot of animosity towards Christians in public schools. So that's really, really hard if your child isn't so deeply in love with Jesus or is on the fence. I mean, you can't really be on the fence, but you know what I mean? Questioning, I guess, is a better term. I don't think it's beneficial. I don't think that would help them. I think that would hurt them. But for example, when I went to public school, there was a time where I was wearing a Jesus Loves You shirt and I got locked in a bathroom stall and they had written an upside down cross and written, "You're not welcome here." And they locked me in there for a few minutes.
Wow.
And like, obviously that's bad, but I was in the mental space, and like my relationship with Jesus was close enough that it was like, it just brushed over my shoulder. Like, I was just like, yeah, I think they're wrong, but Jesus loves them. And I didn't get upset. I didn't even go to the principal about it. Like, I didn't say anything about it because it just didn't bother me. But for some kids, that would really bother them. And I fear to a kid who isn't necessarily as strong at that point could easily conform to fit in. And I would never want that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then also, like, if I'm, talking about Jesus in the home, and then the kid is experiencing that at school and feeling like they can't talk to me because you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just wouldn't want that for my kid.
Yeah. The only like good thing that I see in public school is it's free.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
there we
it.
go.
I'm sure I could think of something else, but that's the only thing that comes to my mind is that it's free.
I had such a good experience with public school.
With what?
With public school, with
So-
public high school, I had such a good experience.
Yeah, I never had the public high school experience. I only had elementary, and my elementary experience, I mean, it was good. I never fit in anywhere. I remember going from the Christian school to public school and feeling like so alone and just wanting to go back because it's like they don't talk about God here. They don't have any like love or whatever. I was in first grade. To understand that, that's wild. But I just like the friends that I had, like they were very fickle, and I know I was really young, but it affected me a lot because I think that loyalty and also sticking to what you believe is important, but they were just all like all over the place. And also like I know that there was lots of indoctrination that happened in that school because I remember being like there was a puppet show that we put on in I think second grade, and it was all about like how amazing we are. Like, this is how good we are. I am amazing. I am wonderful. I am fantastic. And it was just all feeding, like, you're amazing. Like, you're just so good. Like, you're like, you alone. Like, you're, like, nobody understands, and you'll get hurt, but, like, everybody loves you. You're amazing. And so kind of, and, like, to a kid, that sounds great. But in reality, that I look back and I say, no, we're all sinners. We need to be taught that we're not perfect and we're going to fail. And yes, that's okay, but there's something higher than that. But anyways, other than that, it was just that friends were not very good and they always left and I never really fit in.
I will say, in my last year of high school, when I was in public school, everybody else had their friend groups. Because I came in the very last year, so like I didn't fit in anywhere either. I did end up like making a couple friends, and I was fine, but like that was something I noticed is I never really had any good girlfriends because they all had like their cliques and their groups already because they had already been there for 3 years, and I didn't have that. I left high school and I haven't kept in touch with anybody, but I still think it was fun while it lasted.
Sure. Yeah. Anyways, and then there's also the cons of public school, which I think we've touched upon a little bit.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge.
But also there's so much more, like if you go into like
Much.
the details of what we mean when we say indoctrination.
Which we will go into.
Okay.
We're going to hit quick cons because I want to go through all of them, which is, I know it's a lot, but I want to do it. Con of public school, go.
I mean, some of the messages that they teach the kids is just so like, and like worldly beliefs can be so tempting, I feel like sometimes. And the culture that they bring is just so like, there's a way to draw you in, and kids' minds are so impressionable at that age. It's just like so hard to not conform to the world. But also like, I would say a con for me is in high school, they're training you, like high school, they're training you on how to figure out what you want to do with your life and helping you figure out, what job you want to go in, what you want to do, what you're passionate about. And while all of that's awesome, a lot of it is just kind of like follow your heart, find what makes you happy. You have to find a job, kind of things like that. And there's never any talk about, if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, like that's not an option. Or like, I mean, and of course it's high school, so it's like you may not be there yet, but also there's like that, and I just don't agree with the whole follow your heart thing. I don't really like that saying. As a dancer, that's a really tricky thing to say because you can get lost in the spotlight per se. And so that saying and hearing that in high school, like the later 2 years of high school, and when it comes to career building and finding colleges is just detrimental to my view of a career because I felt like I needed to get big and make all this money and stuff like that. But there was no room for, not having a career or doing something because you're called to do it, not just because you want to do it. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I guess I'll touch on what I said a little earlier, which was just that my school was very pushing with the like gay pride flags and like the be who you want to be kind of vibe, which was icky. And another thing I will say is, especially during your senior year, is there's such a push to go to college. And for me personally, I am so thankful I did not go to college. Like, that would have been horrible for me. And they really, like, they'll sit you down and be like, no, you have to pick a college and whatever. And, like, I don't know.
College is a scam.
College is a scam. I agree.
Jess, not all situations in college. In general, but what she was saying of it being pushed on kids and saying this is your only option. You have to do this.
It's not your
That
only
kind of thing.
option.
That's a scam.
Yeah.
Because it's totally understandable and great for those who have a degree they're going for, but pushing it on people who simply want to go into a certain career that does not require a degree, don't go to college and get into debt for no reason.
And honestly, like, I have a pretty good job in finances right now, and I don't have any degrees, and I'm really happy, and I'm very thankful that I did not waste a ton of money on college. So that was one thing, is like there was so much push. You got to go to college.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You don't got to go to college.
Something that I'm not a fan of in a lot of public schools is that somehow, which as Christians you kind of understand this happens a lot. Somehow they're so accepting of most religions and all of the like what people believe, and you believe like you can be an animal, that's totally fine, and the gay pride stuff and the trans stuff, all of that is totally welcome because they're inclusive unless you are a Christian. And then you often get very excluded, and raising like a Christian flag at a school is horrible, but you can raise a gay flag. So like the lack of consistency there that you see a lot of times, not just in public schools, you see it so much. The fact that people are very quote unquote inclusive and tolerant unless you believe in Jesus. So I think that would be my answer.
You guys say all the good stuff. I did my senior thesis I wrote on the corrupt public school system and just how they've taken the family and the values and the importance of the family completely out, and how they will target children to separate them from their parents, and it's all about, what do you want? Your parents don't understand you, we understand you, like, we love you. And it's just it's what the teachers are told to tell the children so that the children can feel safe or whatever. But in doing so, like, oh, if you wear different clothes and call yourself a different name at school, we won't tell your parents. If you decide that you want to transition to a different gender, we won't tell your parents. Oh, you're complaining that your parents are making you go to church? We will take you and have an emergency evacuation of you from your household and not let you go to your parents for a few days because you don't want to go to church. And then, sorry, this is an actual true story. And then the judge, so it was this kid who told his school counselor, like, I don't like going to church. My parents make me go to church like 3 times a week. And so what they did is they had like emergency, what is that? The kids, like.
Emancipation?
No, like social
CPS?
services? Is it social?
Yeah.
Child Protective Services had an emergency, like, taking of that child, put them into the foster care system for a few days, had them go to court, and the parents had no idea this was happening the entire time until their kid didn't come home from school, and they're like, what is happening? So then they went to court, and then the judge ruled, like, oh, 1 day is enough for this kid to go to church. Like, you're as a parent, if you're going to bring him to church more than one time a week, we will take him from you forever. And that was what the judge ruled. And that's a true story. So anyways, and there's lots of other things that public school does that in recent years where they are getting in between the kids and their parents and taking away that value of family needs to be the center. You need to go to your parents for these things. We need to support the family. And that is probably the largest con that I see.
Because also then like your kids go to school from like 8 to 3, and then they go have their extracurricular like soccer, dance or something, and then they come home and they see you for an hour and then they go to bed, and it's just every single day of the week. It's
You're not raising your own kid, it feels like.
yeah.
And as a teacher myself, I teach 7, 8-year-olds, and I feel like their mother. I know that I basically am the second mom role in the classroom, and I make it a goal to have the children be fully like keep in contact with the parents. Like, hey, your kid did this today. Is this okay if I do this? Or like, it's all about, okay, what do the parents want? But you're like their second mother. They're with you for 7 hours of 7 hours of the day, and you just are teaching them and guiding them. And it's not just school that you're teaching them, but you're teaching them values, and you're dealing with their emotions, and you're helping them through hard times. And like, I had many kids crying a lot, and I would just have to help them through. Like, hey, what's going on? Why are you crying? What is actually happening? So it is like taking on a role there that the teachers have to do. And when the teachers don't care,
That's a good point because, I mean, people in general put their kids in school, but a lot of Christians put their kids in school, and Christians tend to, care more about what their kids are taking in and all that stuff, which is good. But then they still put them in public school and not necessarily think about the fact that they're giving the primary roles in your children's lives to people that you barely know, never mind people who are likely not Christians. And people who just do that as their job. And, yes, there's some amazing teachers out there who really do care about the students, but then there's a lot of teachers out there that don't. So, yeah.
Giving out condoms to high schoolers is completely inappropriate and literally horrendous. That's genuinely horrendous to me.
that's wild.
Well, yeah, I mean, the pornographic sex education that's in schools is just insane. And it starts at a young age. It's no longer just that high school course that you can choose to take. It gets forced into elementary, and horrible things are taught to such young children. It's truly insane. I mean, I don't know if you know the story, if you could tell it better than me, but something along the lines of this quiz that do you know it? Because I don't want to mess it up.
It was basically where they there was a school that was going to give this very sexual quiz to these kids. I don't think that they
were high
asked
schoolers, right?
Possibly. I don't know, but I just know that they didn't ask the parents' permission. They said, don't tell your parents about this. They were very explicit about this is don't involve the parents, don't tell them, this is just for us, whatever. Then of course a kid told their parents, and the parent got so upset and saw the quiz and was shared it with a bunch of people.
There's another one where it was the parents did know about it, and they opted their kids out, and they said no, we choose not to do that, and they said okay, but they gave the quiz to all of the students anyway.
Yeah.
Even though the parents had said no.
Yeah, and that was bad. So anyways, that's public. Do you have something else to add?
There was a public school that approved a litter box
Yeah.
for a student, which
Poor janitor.
I'm telling you.
insane.
That's such a good point.
Yeah. I mean, who's going to clean it?
A litter
Okay,
box.
here's my thing. If a kid is saying, I'm not a human, I'm a cat, then
Why are
don't
they-
go to school.
yeah, why are they
You're
in
not a
school?
student. You don't enroll your cat into school.
I don't know. I thought I was a squirrel when I was younger.
Okay, but you're a
you're just,
squirrel and then,
And you didn't think you were an animal when you were young? You didn't?
No.
You didn't like. I mean, I'd pretend, but I didn't.
Yeah.
think
No,
I
no,
was
I didn't
literally-
know. I didn't think I was, but I
Okay.
love to dress up as a squirrel.
Okay,
I
dressing
never
up and
did that
pretending
either.
is totally fine. But when you like
Sorry,
are
you had no
actually like,
imagination.
I am. It's
Uh,
just wild.
You know,
I was-
being older too.
I was
and-
freaking Cinderella and whatever her
I
name
thought
is,
I was
Jasmine.
a secret princess.
Of course you were Jasmine.
Oh my god.
She's Arab. She's not
Anyways.
even Indian, right?
All right. Moving
Jamaican.
on.
She might
So
be.
public schools. Public schools.
Is she Arab?
I think she is.
She
Arab.
is, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, public schools, as we know, have lots of negatives to them, and I say that they outweigh the positives. What do we think about private Christian schools? Are they any better? Are they also kind of ranging in the not the greatest? What do you guys think?
Do you think maybe you should start since you had the most experience?
I did
in a
have
private Christian
yeah.
school?
Well, so did Jess.
She had a lot, but I don't, okay, you're right. You
I
both.
had
did.
11 years in one.
Oh, okay.
I had 10.
Wow. Okay,
Wait,
Jess, I
2
guess you
years in
win. You start.
pre-K, 1 year in kindergarten. Skip the 3 years. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I had 10 years.
I got you beat.
You did get me beat. Except I taught there, and I'm going back there for college.
What are we in pros or cons right
Pros
now?
and cons.
Both, like, what is your thought?
Your
Is it better than
experience.
public school? But like, is it something that's like worth
Would
like?
you put your kids in private
Yeah.
school?
Yes, I would put my kids in private school. The only issue with private school is
Private Christian school.
private Christian school is, I mean, just like public school, everyone's human. So everyone makes mistakes. So there's always going to be issues. Of course, they're Christians, so they hold different values and hold Bible classes and, whatever, and sermons and messages and whatever. So all of that's great and that's different and good. The cons are that I feel like sometimes, at least in the school I went to, no hate, but it was a little too strict, I think. They didn't let you paint your nails or wear makeup or wear fun socks, or you couldn't even write in like a folder, like paper binder kind of thing.
Funny
Like,
how it's changed.
yeah, it was very strict. And I think that took away, it just made it more like check the boxes religion kind of thing rather than telling the story of Jesus. I mean, they did, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It was more like conditional, I guess, to say. And like I remember this one time, Sarah Hayes, if you're watching this, you'll probably remember this story, where Sarah and I were both dancers and we were in worship and we were dancing around because we loved the music that was going on. So we were dancing. And then we got pulled aside by one of our teachers and he was like, you can't dance during worship music. It's totally inappropriate. You're not allowed to move. You can raise your hands and sing, and that's fine, but you can't move out of your seat and dance. And we were devastated because we just loved dancing for Jesus. And
Isn't dancing biblical too?
Yeah.
yes. So I don't know. I think that some private Christian schools can take it a little bit too far, where it's like, I don't know, but.
Okay, being a teacher, I can understand why they did that, because then there are the kids who won't behave and won't do it for Jesus, who just want to get out of their seats and who want to dance around just to show off that they're out of their seats. So I can understand from their perspective, but I also think that if you had been given the chance to explain yourselves, maybe there could have been lenience, but I don't know. I just know because children.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot to say because I never went to a private Christian college. I would say that that's.
College or
I mean,
Either way.
school, elementary school, high school, whatever,
School.
school. I will say I think that for my children, that's most likely what we're going to do. It does worry me because I don't like. It can almost get to a point where it's toxic. I feel like. I don't know how to explain it, but like, I want my kids to also have fun. Like, you're gonna be there for 8 hours, 5 days a week for years and years and years and years. Like, I don't want it to be living hell for you, you know? Like, yeah, you should be able to paint your nails. Like, it's okay to have a little bit of color in your life. Like, it feels very toxic to me when people describe their experiences with religious schools, and it makes me really nervous because I wouldn't want to put my kids in there. But also, comparatively to public school, there is a very obvious better option. But I can't speak on any personal experience because I never went to private religious school.
I think what you said, like, especially as a girl, it's like, I feel like that's so important. Like, painting your nails, and when mom gives you your first lip gloss and you want to wear it around, and when, you know, dad gives you a special necklace you want to wear, but you can't because school doesn't let you paint your nails or wear any makeup or have any jewelry on. It's just like, but that's
'em
being
be
a
a girl.
Yeah, that's just girlhood, I feel like.
Yeah.
And taking that from me when I was a kid was so disheartening because I just wanted to be girly, but I couldn't wear those kinds of things.
I get the point of like uniforms and stuff. It's to like take away the distraction. But there's no need to make school so gray and like bleh.
My my Christian school was a very different experience from that because we were allowed to wear pants. We were allowed to wear jewelry. We could wear makeup when we were older, but like, you know, if you had lip gloss, I don't know. I didn't really wear lip gloss, but
Yeah.
I was able to be a girl if I wanted to. We could paint our nails. We could have jewelry and stuff. And
Was there rules though? Other types of rules?
there were other types of rules, but as far as that goes, we were allowed to do that. We also got to have things like pajama day, and like if you behave for a certain amount of time, you get a party or something like that. Like and you could wear whatever clothes you wanted. We had uniform free day. Like
Yeah.
I had
TNT was
totally-
never like that.
and they still aren't. But it's like so much different because we had that, and it was. I absolutely loved the school so much. I loved the friends I had. I loved learning. I loved being in that environment. The teachers were fun and they were personal, and like you like got to know them and be like actually friends with them, and that was really really fun for me. And I also liked like even though there was uniform, but we also got to have things like Spirit Week where we got to dress up in different outfits for an entire week, and it was like all in the like just school spirit. So like one week was like, you know, one day was pajama day, the next was like dress up in a like something that ends in ER or OR, like teacher or doctor, or I dressed up like paper. Or it was weird.
You dressed up like paper?
I had to be different, or was I marker? I forget, but it was something funny like that. And then there's just
It was.
yeah, it was great.
I love that.
There's lots of, so there was just all that fun stuff, and like, and just for me, I just I looked forward to those things. Those were so much fun. Those days were great. And being with my friends was so much fun. And again, the Christian education part of it, like I took an apologetics class. It was my favorite class ever. I loved that there was chapel every single week and that you just got to worship and sing. And the worship leader, I don't know if you guys know Pastor Eric Escalend.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was so much fun and encouraging when I was really young and little. Anyways, so my growing up with the Christian education was great. There are some downsides. Like I didn't like the there was, you know, I mean, it was still school, so there was an aspect of, you know, you have to go to school, you have to do work. I don't know. The only thing I didn't like is when the leadership changed in the school. It went from feeling like a family to feeling a little bit more like school and like a institution, and I was like, I like my family, so I was okay to leave. But it was like, you know, of course, like Jess said, everybody's human.
Yeah.
So there were some things that was like, this teacher does not know what they're doing. Or like, this is like what is going on. But
Or friend groups and drama.
friend groups and drama, yeah, like you're always going to have friends and drama and stuff like that. So it was a lot of like, but that's not really the school, that's the people. And I guess the school could do
Yeah,
better
but
about teaching the people. But
I'm
still.
saying like the schools are made up of people.
True.
So.
Yes.
I also remember at TNT specifically, I don't know if Trinity had this, but it was like OT and NT classes where you had to read a book of the Bible in a certain amount of time. Like I remember one
Did you
time,
read them?
I've read the whole Bible because of those two classes, which is awesome, except for the fact that over a period of time when it was like, I have to read all of Psalms by next week, which is insane for a seventh grader to do that. although that's great that I knew a lot of facts about the Bible, it kind of took the fun out of it because it was more of a chore. So I like outside of that, I never wanted to read the Bible on my own because I was like, yeah, but I have to do it for classes. So it was no longer something that I wanted to do and more of like a homework, check the box.
Yeah.
Next. So I didn't like that aspect of,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just
I
me.
never had to read the Bible. I mean, we read the Bible in class, but I didn't have to do it for like homework and stuff. For the Old Testament, New Testament classes, what we did is we wrote notes, like 3 pages of notes, and then at the end of the week we had to memorize those 3 pages of notes and then take a quiz on it, and it was usually the most random facts found in the middle of it that you just, if you didn't read and memorize everything, you would not have passed.
Who was Ishmael's second cousin's dog's bird's name?
Yep. If you wrote it down, it was on the quiz. So, oh well. Like, I got some random questions. But
Are you guys anti-uniform or pro-uniform?
pro uniform.
Really?
I personally love the uniform look. Also, I love that people, like, you don't just go to school in sweatpants, because in public schools, you can just go in sweatpants or pajamas and, like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I think that being in uniforms makes you feel like, okay, like, it
We're
does
here to
something
learn.
mentally. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're here to learn. We're part of the school. Like, it kind of unifies everybody. And then those uniform free days are so fun.
I am pro dress code, anti-uniform.
Okay.
So, like, I do not think that you should be allowed to walk around in little tank tops and leggings and stuff. But I also think you should be allowed to have the freedom to,
Have your style.
customize your character.
Choose your character. Dun, dun, dun. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I am anti-uniform purely because I'm anti-school.
So pros and cons of homeschool then.
No, so here's the thing. With my kids, I want to do something that's like homeschool. I want to homeschool them, but it's like kind of like it's like free school. It's like my kids live their life around me and their father, and they learn because we teach them, because day-to-day life happens. Like back in the day, how kids used to learn things. And so yes, there will be a level of like formal school, but I don't want to put my kids in private Christian school or public school, whatever it looks like. I don't want to put my kids in that for many reasons, many of which we've already talked about. But I think with the private schools, what is still the case is that you're still away from your family for that amount of time, and you're still putting a huge role in your children's life in the hands of teachers, not the parents that they were given by God. And yes, you still have a relationship with them. It's just so different, and it's so much. It's a lot more strained, and I mean, you don't get as much time with them. And also, I think there's a time to introduce your kids into the world of into the world of drama and into the world of friends, because like I just hearing the stories of you last year with your second grade kids, the drama and talking about boyfriends and
wild.
girlfriends and like all the ways that they would talk and the things they would say. I'm just like, I don't want my 6 and 7-year-old children even caring about boyfriends and girlfriends yet. Like, that's not what a child's life should be about, and the drama that comes with that. It's just like too much. So anyway, you have seems like there's something that is gonna be said over
Your
here.
mom just walked by the window, so we were looking.
It's pitch black and there's just like white lady just.
We got our
Mrs.
chickens out
Miller.
back.
I
So-
would say
Checking out the chickens.
the drama that happens, you're gonna get it no matter what. Like even in the homeschool co-op, you're going to get, because
Well, yeah,
with people
but-
comes problems.
That's so true. But when it comes to co-ops or homeschool, the parents see it all.
It's true.
And the parents know what to address and know what to have conversations about with their kids, whereas their kids go off to school and they don't come back and necessarily tell their parents every single thing they heard, said, did, talked about,
That's something I
witnessed, whatever. And so, I mean, I just, and it makes me sound like a bit of a helicopter parent, but it's just not. In my opinion, that's not helicopter parenting. I simply want to be the primary caretaker and nurturer of my children, because that is my job as the mother and as my husband's job as the father. So, I mean, I just don't want to give that big of a role to people that are not meant to be in that role.
And it's true, because our job as mothers is to, like, I mean, even as Christians, is to train up and teach the next generation. And so we need to raise our kids in a godly manner. And if we're going to just care so little about their education and say, just go into public school, if you'll make it because you get to go to church once a week and we talk about Jesus and we pray before dinner. Like, it could be considered irresponsible. But our job as mothers and parents and even like sisters or mentors, we are to teach and train the next generation and to train those that are younger than us, just to encourage them in Christ and to teach them, okay, this is what the Bible says about this. This is what you should be learning. This is wrong. This is right. And know that it's okay to say that something's wrong, because the world, it's going to tell you, you can't say I'm wrong. That's rude.
It's my truth.
It's
I
my
can-
truth.
I
I
can
can say
live
whatever I want. But we need to teach our kids, no, there is right and there is wrong.
Yeah.
This is right and this is wrong. And you're going to see right and wrong in every type of in every type of education system. But how much wrong and how much right are you going to expose your kids to? And how much are you, like, how involved do you really want to be in that, I guess?
Yeah, and that's not to say that if my child asked to go to school, I'd be like, no, I will never let you go to school, no matter, like, it's just really, it depends on the child, and it depends on how old they are and where they are in their groundedness and their faith. Because if my child is in high school and they've in my eyes, I can see that my child is very strong in what they believe and they have good intentions, and the reasons they want to go to school is not just because they think it's the cool thing to do or whatever. Like, if they have good reason for wanting to go, then that's absolutely a conversation that I would have with them and with my husband, and like, that's something I would consider, because like, my oldest brother went to school for a year. And I mean, he hated it, but I mean, he went because I think he felt like he needed to, and he like, it was something he felt like he had to do, and he did it, and he hated it, but he was also a light in it, because I mean, he stood up for teachers, stood up against the horrible meanie pie heads. Anyway,
I think that brings us into, is this the last option, is online school? Did we talk about that already? No, because that's the one that I have the most experience in, is like doing all your school from a laptop. And I think actually all of us might have a little experience because we were all in school during COVID. So I was actually in online school right before COVID even hit.
Wow.
And my parents, they got it done early.
Did your schedule change at all?
No, my schedule didn't change at all, and it's weird because I was in online school for the actual high school during COVID, and then I was enrolled into an actual online school called Connections Academy, and it is the worst thing I think you could do for your child, genuinely.
Completely agree.
Agreed.
Yep. Like, I had no friends. I was lonely. I didn't get ready for the day. I sat at my computer all day. I cheated through every single class. I told my dad that I was cheating on every single class, and he told the principal or whatever, or my teachers of Connections Academy, and they were like, all right, you have to sit in this chat room for 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
As you do your normal schoolwork, you just have to be in the chat room. That's it. You just have to, your character just has to sit in the chat room, but you can go, you can actually go off and do whatever. That was my detention for cheating through years of my schooling.
Yeah, they can't really do much, can they?
No, they can't do anything. And it also it takes away any semblance of community at all. I lost all of my friends. I had no way to keep in touch with them. And honestly, part of that is certainly my parents' fault. But I think it's very important, if you're going to put your child in online school, you have to make sure that they have a social life still and they're not just rotting in front of a screen all day, because that's what I did, and it was the worst. 0 out of 10, put it bottom tier.
I think that there is no benefit to online school, because you're right, it takes away that community, it takes away learning, it gives so many opportunities to just be lazy and do cheating. And because, like, when I did online school, because I did it for COVID, it was just, I felt terrible. I didn't want to do anything. I slacked off. I didn't care. I, like, would look at my notes during, like, the class. I would just be like, I don't know. I wouldn't read the books that they would tell me to read. I just kind of barely scraped by because I just hated so much that all I did was go on a computer and did work, and I was so lonely. And I had my family, but I just was so lonely. It was awful.
I think I learned nothing, legitimately nothing.
Yeah.
Because there was this thing called Quizlet, and like
Oh yeah.
Quizlets.
Oh gosh.
where they had like word for word the answers to every single online test.
Oh, I have used that before.
Oh yeah, me too.
So
Is it wrong? Yeah.
yeah,
But did it work?
yeah. I graduated high school.
Woo!
Guys, can we all tier rank the 4 options? I feel like that'd be
Yeah.
fun. So public, private Christian, online, and homeschooling.
Can we say online's bottom?
Yeah, online
Well,
bottom.
what would you rather do an online Christian schooling or send them
I
into
did-
public school
I would do
where they
public
get
school.
condoms at 6 years old?
No, they don't. Not at 6 years old.
I know, I was being dramatic.
I know you are.
Homeschooling, private Christian schooling, online schooling, public school.
I don't know.
The last 2 are
The last 2 are so hard.
Well, actually, the last two also depend on like the age. Like, if the kids are older, then
But
I'm
a
like,
kid-
okay,
like,
then
imagine having a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old on online school.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
it would be
awful.
terrible.
So I
but
Yeah,
think-
but also them being taught about
I think just throw them both out the window.
like
Okay,
I
but
wouldn't
that's not the
consider
game.
either. But
Okay.
if you had to rank them, it's like if they're online school, at least they're home and they get to stand up and run around and go out in the backyard whenever they want.
That's fair. But, and then you can just take it and teach them what the
it's basically just co-op except they see their friends after.
Yeah.
You did have a different experience other than what I just said. So I feel like you know what I mean? Like you had a more negative experience.
Lily,
Yeah.
are you going to do homeschool? So you said you would do private Christian school, but if you felt
Idealistically, yeah.
you had the capability of doing homeschool, would you do that instead?
If I did, of course I would want to. I just don't know that I will be able to homeschool. I had I had a horrible experience with homeschooling. You have to have a lot of patience to be a homeschooler.
You have to have a lot of patience to also be a teacher.
Yes, you do.
Of homeschoolers.
You have to
Or
have a
have
lot of
children.
patience to be
Yeah.
a mom.
You have to have a lot of patience, period.
So if you're lacking in the patience department, do not homeschool your children.
No, that's not the answer. If you're lacking in the patience department, pray to become more patient because
I did
not homeschooling your kids is not the answer.
The only way that I became more patient was just through watching my sister day in and day out. And boy, oh boy, did I learn patience. It was
Throw your sister under the bus.
She knows. But it was just being like, I had to learn so much self-control and so much patience just by being her like mother for 5 hours of the day.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So when you become a mother, you'll learn the patience.
I also do think in their very young years I will homeschool. Like pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. But like I'm just thinking of when they get older, like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Like I certainly won't do online school. Idealistically, we would send them to like a private
So yours
academy.
is like
Private homeschool, I guess.
you
Help-
guess.
yeah.
Well, if that's not what your actual answer would be, just
No, it would be private Christian school, homeschool, public school, online school.
interesting.
I think I would do homeschool, private Christian school, public school, online school.
These are just a couple of things that I was listening to Kirk Cameron talk about because if you don't know who that is, he is actually, how do you even describe him? I don't know. He has a documentary movie, and I don't remember what it's called. But it's about Christian homeschooling, basically. He has like 8 children, I think.
Holy crap.
I think.
What?
He likes to
He has a lot of kids.
Did you say 8?
Yeah.
Oh.
He believes he's a Christian. He believes in Christian homeschooling all the way because I don't know. There's so many reasons. He's a really cool guy. But I was listening to him on a podcast and he said that the family is the first department of education. And as the family, we are given, like as parents, we're given the responsibility to take care of our kids, and it's not it shouldn't be okay to just like how normalized public school is and the school system in general. Like I think I have so many problems with it, and like it's just not how it used to be back in the day, and they're scarily similar to jails. So I don't know. But anyway, so the family, first and foremost, the kids learn and are raised by their parents in their family. Their family is, the greatest blessing. And this is the other thing he said, that education inherently is authoritarian, meaning there is an authority no matter what. It's just we have to choose what that authority is. And are we willing to give that authority to people we don't trust or we don't know, or people who we would disagree with on basic values? So, or are we going to give that authority to ourselves and to God? The authority of raising our children to God in general.
Okay, if you're homeschooled, then there is a right way to be homeschooled and to be social. I completely agree with that. I think that it is up to the parents to teach how to be social, how to have manners, all that stuff, public, whatever. I don't think that the public school is the one teaching children that, but also you have to remember there's social media, and social media kind of kills community. Because if you think about it, 20, 30 years ago, when, maybe more than that, I don't know.
Phones should not be allowed in school.
How old your parents are, but when my parents were in school and when your parents were...
I kind of disagree with
Okay, anyways, wow, okay. But when your parents were in school, there wasn't that kind of social media, whatever. So everyone was very social. Everyone talked in school when your parents were in school, right?
Sorry, I wasn't saying that I disagreed with your
Yeah.
social media. I was
We were both
disagreeing with.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no,
That's
no,
fine. You can
that's-
disagree with me.
But I'm saying, so when social media and the ability to just kind of be a person through a screen and not kind of have to, I don't know, just it creates loneliness. It creates lack of community. It creates lack of in touchness with other people, which is just the truth of it. So
Before you say what you're about to say, guys, I just have so many problems with the school systems in general that like I so much would like never want to put my kids in it because I have so many issues with it. And so I'm not just saying phones should not be allowed in school. I'm saying a lot of things should change about school. One of which, if all those things were to change, one of which would that phones would not be a part of it.
Okay, but counter argument though. Okay, let's say even if it's a private Christian school and you send your kids there, if something goes wrong, how are they going to communicate with you? Even if it's a burner phone.
Phones are available. I mean, like people can, you know how there used to be phones on the wall. There's availability. There's ways to
Okay,
communicate.
I understand that, but also like same thing. Like I don't like obviously this is all hypotheticals, but like if something really bad goes on and it's like they're stuck in that single classroom and that phone breaks.
Pray to the Lord.
I don't know. I just think like
Ask
having
Jesus to send a.
I'm gonna be a
message-
helicopter
message
mom.
pigeon
I'm gonna be a helicopter mom.
to your parents.
I'm gonna be a helicopter mom. You will not go as my child. You're not gonna go anywhere unless you have a phone, and it doesn't. You will not have access to social media, but you'll have a Gab phone, and I will be able to track you wherever you go.
yeah.
Sure, I mean,
And like
alright.
if they need to contact me, I'm not gonna say no. You
You-
can't contact
yeah.
me. Go find a telephone.
Yeah,
To
you will
contact
have a device on you where you can communicate with me at all times, but you may not have access to social media because that's
or
bad.
like the internet,
Or the internet. Yeah, you can have
People
like
just
yeah.
find reasons to look at their phone, though. People find reasons to be antisocial. Even if you don't have social media, you'll pretend to be scrolling. Like, literally,
This is
that
so true.
happens. And so, I mean, calling out, Hunter right now, he just plays on the calculator. So, there's
just a different breed though.
I don't like the way that civilization has evolved, just in the way that people just don't look at each other in the eyes and say hello, good morning, nice to see you. If you're passing a person on the street, it's look down at your phone, look down, look away, ignore.
that's a New England thing, though.
Not just New England. It is I know that people are more friendly in other parts of the country, but it is a culture thing.
100%. I 100% agree. I think that it is a culture thing, and I think it's also a time thing, and I think that it's a phone thing. Yeah, I agree.
I think it's a less Jesus thing.
We can track our kids and not give them a phone by just sticking a GPS in
Okay,
their head.
I
And then
actually
giving them brain
I had-
cancer.
I had
Giving
a
them brain cancer.
on the field trip that we went with. I had a student who had a tracker that was in their pocket that her mom could track her like just wherever she went, just with that. So if you ever really want to
Get
track
an
your
old
kid,
timey
An
pager.
Apple
like
tag.
it looks like a little watch thing, kind of.
Send me a bird message if you want to.
I said a carrier pigeon.
Pigeons.
Anyways,
A pigeon.
No, I want my kids to have a phone that they can solely
okay.
text and call and have photo. Like you can
And
take
listen to
photos.
music. You can listen to music.
At the end of the day, your child is not your own. Your child is God's. How do you want to raise your children to glorify God, and how would you raise God's children, because he has blessed you with them? So at the end of the day, the education that you put your child into really does matter, and as long as you are glorifying God in it, and you feel you're like and you're within your convictions, and you're saying yes, this is the right thing according to God, and you're consulting him, everything, like that's awesome. That's what you want to do. If it means this kid that has a solid relationship with the Lord wants to go to public school to be a light, and God is confirming that that is something that they want within me, within my husband, and within that child, follow God, because he knows better. But if it's like this kid wants to go to public school, but they need Jesus, and God is telling me to keep them home even though it's going to be really hard and I'm going to have to homeschool them, follow the Lord. It will be difficult, but follow him. So ultimately, your child is not your own. Your child belongs to God. Follow what he wants for your child. And that's tricky, but possible.
In general, yes, I love homeschooling, but I love classical education. Okay.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
Shameless plug, as Jess would say. Classical conversations is the best homeschooling thing you could ever do for your children. I am who I am because of my 7 years in CC, and I loved all my tutors and all my teachers and all of the friends that I made, and I learned how to think for myself and ask questions, and asking questions on my own is how you learn. You're not lectured, you're not, told here's what's going on. You are given questions to ask, and then you go and find the answers.
Thank you for joining us for this very important episode. Education, innovation,